Welcome to this week's Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Conditions Report from here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm with Brian Fleck from Dunlop. Now, Brian, I got to ask you, we looked at some of these ruts here, and you talk about the 110, the MX-33 110, the MX-33 120. The ruts are going to be deep here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, this dirt is pretty tacky and soft, so it's going to rut up bad. The corners and the whoops probably. So some guys will look at running a little bit narrower tire like the 110 versus the 120 that comes on most 450s. So the 110 just tracks a little cleaner through the ruts, doesn't grab so much. So sometimes when you're getting, the lift off the jump or the next whoop, it keeps you a little straighter. Weight difference is a little bit, but mainly it just gets through the ruts a little bit cleaner than the 120. So sometimes we see 250s run the 120s when it gets drier, but for sure here I think every 250 will be on a 110 just because of the ruts.
And what about some of the 450 guys? Some of those guys also run a 110, correct?
Yeah, some of the guys like the 110. The guys are a little more finesse. They say it's a little easier to turn, not so grabby in the ruts. And then several of the 450 guys just like the 120 because the 450 is a lot of power to try to control.
And the other thing too is we were talking about it is the start here. The start in Indy, not so long, pretty short, but a lot of guys like to pick a tire that's going to work off the steel grate that we have behind the starting gate.
Yeah, right now the start's tacky, so I think the 110 will be okay. But sometimes, even if the track's tacky, the start's a little bit drier because it gets worked the most and the most equipment on it. So guys will pick a 120 just because it's going to drive down the start straight better. And I know a short start like this, the start's everything.
Our old friend Brock Glover couldn't be with us this weekend, but a couple weeks ago in Atlanta, we saw how deep the whoops were. We got a chance to drop a tire in between the whoops. And, I think a lot of people don't realize how deep these whoops are. And I mean, everybody's changed a Dunlop tire in their career probably, or, just a regular cow trailer, beginner, novice, or whatever. But you got a chance to see that tire drop in, and it went away.
Yeah, when the whoops are fresh like this, I mean, it's, almost 3 foot deep. So definitely the whole tire disappears. But a lot of times when they're soft like this, they'll get one line will get beat down, and it'll probably be about half of what it starts at. But I mean, definitely they're deep, and like you said, it'll swallow a tire.
And we talked about also, the whoops, how they develop, they start to cup out and things like that. Sometimes guys will get one rut through there, then they can't blitz across them. I mean, obviously you want to blitz across them, you don't want to drop that front wheel or rear wheel, but then also we see guys jumping through them.
Yeah, it's kind of like Marvin and Cooper are some of the first ones to start jumping through them because they figure they're not going to lose as much time, because when they get really cupped out, it's hard to keep your drive through the whoops. And once you lose your drive, you're more likely to drop that front tire. So as the whoops deteriorate, you'll see more and more guys start jumping parts of them just to try to be a little bit cleaner and keep their speed up.
We heard from the technical manager, Brian Fleck. Well, that's it for the Dunlop Motorcycle Tires Track Conditions Report here in Indianapolis, Indiana.